Ancient megalithic sites worldwide challenge our understanding of human history. From the Pyramid of the Sun in Teotihuacan to the Pyramids of Giza, these accomplishments push us to reconsider what our ancestors were capable of and whether the facts in our history books convey the full narrative of our past. In the middle of the timeless expanse of the Pacific Ocean, Micronesia, there is a megalithic monument as baffling and mysterious as any on Earth. Despite its prominence as one of the world's most fascinating and distinctive ancient monuments, most people are unlikely to have heard of Nan Madol. Nan Madol is an engineering feat consisting of around 100 stone and coral-filled platforms atop artificial islands, separated by narrow canals and surrounded by an outer seawall. And so, the question becomes, when it was created, where did the massive boulders come from? How were they transported, and why was it placed on top of a reef? In the shallow waters of the western shore of Manila lies an incomprehensible stone structure, 92 artificial islets erected on top of a coral reef, spanning a mile and connected by an intricate network of stone-lined canals. These stone canals give the area its name, Nan Madol, which translates to within the intervals. In current times, Nan Madol has been dubbed the Venice of the Pacific, and it's not difficult to see why. Throughout the complex, there are incredible structures made of massive basalt stones, walls that are 58 feet tall and as thick as 17 feet, columns and buildings made of stones weighing anywhere from 5 to 50 tons and stacked in the manner of a log cabin. It is estimated that more than 750,000 tons of stone were used to construct the site. According to researchers who conducted several investigations at Nan Madol in the 1980s and 1990s, the project is of such massive scale that it easily compares with the building of the Great Wall of China and the Pyramids of Egypt in volume of stone and labor used. Simply said, Nan Madol is one of the most amazing megalithic sites on the planet, and it is the only one erected on top of a coral reef. But who could have built anything like this? Carbon dating of the stone megaliths at the site suggests that Nan Madol's construction began in approximately 1180 AD, which leads us to the conclusion that Nan Madol was built by the Sodalur dynasty, which dominated the island of Pohnpei at the time. According to this theory, the location was abandoned after the Sodalurs were defeated in the late 1600s, leaving the strange ruins that still exist today. However, new research at the site indicates that the earliest settlement there dates back much earlier, possibly to the 2nd century BC, if not further. Perhaps the mystery of Nan Madol predates the Sodalur dynasty. If the Sodalur dynasty erected Nan Madol 1,000 years ago, the question is simple. How did they achieve it? For starters, no stone quarries are around the site, implying that the massive basalt stones that comprise Nan Madol must have been hauled there from somewhere else. But how? The island of Pohnpei is too mountainous to transport stones across. Thus, whether Nan Madol's builders obtained the stones from the island or another small island nearby, they would have had to float them across the water to the site. Initially, some suggested that they may have done this with bamboo rafts, but this hypothesis was swiftly debunked when the tremendous weight of the stones were evaluated. A 1995 Discovery Channel special on Nan Madol attempted to float stones weighing 1 to 2 tons, which were only a tenth of the amount utilized in the site's construction, but the rafts rapidly sank. For the sake of argument, assume that Nan Madol's architects could transport the massive basalt stones to the site, perhaps using rafts or some undiscovered way. This still does not explain how people raised and arranged the stones into buildings, walls, and canals without pulleys, levers, or other modern technological improvements. Even today, lifting a 50-ton stone is a massive task that requires a powerful crane and an experienced crew. So how could a population hundreds of years ago, without a crane or even simple leverage tools, have done it? Furthermore, even if the Sodalurs could bring the massive stones to Nan Madol and then lift and arrange them without using pulleys or levers, the explanation still remains incomplete. During the Sodalur dynasty, the entire island of Pohnpei was estimated to have a population of 20 to 30,000 people, including the elderly and children. This population does not meet the manpower requirements for a project like Nan Madol. The lonely island could hardly support its residents' daily life, let alone a project like the construction of Nan Madol. Some believe that considering Pohnpei's population and the number of working-age individuals on the island, Nan Madol's construction would have taken more than 3 centuries. Scientists believe Nan Madol was created by the Sordalar dynasty some 800 years ago, but they have no idea how. To address that question, we may need to go elsewhere. According to the Pohnpeian oral history, Nan Madol has a very specific origin. It opens with the story of a group of 7 men and 9 women who set off from some place across the ocean to find a new home in the distant past. During their journey, they encountered an octopus spirit who guided them to an obscure island in the Pacific Ocean. But it was a trick, and when they arrived, the island was only slightly bigger than a boat, far too small to settle on. Fortunately, the explorers had magical abilities that allowed them to summon the rest of the island above water, and there they settled, erecting a stone altar in the center and giving the island the name Pohnpei, which means upon a stone altar. Over decades, 5 more groups of settlers would arrive on the island, each with a secret magical knowledge of moving mountains, raising reefs, and shaping the land, gradually establishing a prosperous civilization. Finally, a 7th group arrived, bringing the most powerful sorcerers yet, the brothers Olishipha and Oloshopa. These brothers created Nan Madol by utilizing their magical abilities to fly massive basalt stones through the air as if they were weightless, piling them into islets, canals, walls, and buildings. The brothers' magic was so great that they invaded Pohnpei and established the Sordalar dynasty. Let's look deeper at this account, particularly the power of the brothers Olishipha and Oloshopa to levitate massive stones, weighing up to 50 tons in the air using some sort of sorcery. Some have argued that this was not magic, and that the story was simply a folk recollection of a vanished technology. But what kind of vanished technology may have enabled ancient people to float massive stones through the air? Acoustic levitation. It is a technique for levitating large stones by matching their sound frequency, rendering them weightless and shifting them into place. Consider the ancient megalithic sites worldwide, created from massive stones that would appear nearly impossible for the ancients to move, let alone use for construction, from Stonehenge to the Great Pyramid of Giza. Some believe that the existence of these megalithic sites indicates that the ancients mastered the technology of levitation. Despite its grandeur and technology, living in Nan Madol was difficult. While the city's distinctive architecture provided security and distinction, it also left the islands without fresh water or food. The inhabitants relied on their subjects to deliver these necessary resources from the mainland. During the Sordalar era, the chiefs received supplies on designated islets, but this arrangement failed when the rule changed hands. The decline of Nan Madol began in 1628, when Isa Kelekel ousted the Sordalar, ushering in the non-Moiki era. Although the non-Moikis initially lived at Nan Madol, they had the difficult task of procuring their own water and food. The arrangement proved increasingly unworkable over time, and residents progressively relocated to the main island. As Nan Madol's population declined, the city fell into disrepair and was eventually abandoned. While the exact timing of the city's demise is unknown, it was a lengthy and protracted process. The once thriving city of canals, teeming with aristocrats, priests, and commoners, gradually succumbed to the forces of nature and time. Today, Nan Madol and its surroundings form an important archaeological district spanning more than 18 square kilometers. This sector contains the intricate stone structures constructed on the coral reef and the nearby coastline of Pohnpei's main island. Nan Madol was designated a UNESCO World Heritage Site in 2016 due to its exceptional and gigantic megalithic architecture. It was also recognized as a reflection of the early formation of traditional chiefly institutions and government systems in the Pacific Islands, which have persisted to the present day. Sadly, the state's integrity is currently at stake. The state of the stone structures is of considerable concern due to vegetation overgrowth, storm surge effects, and partial stonework collapse. As a result, Nan Madol has been on the World Heritage in Danger list since 2016. Efforts are underway to safeguard and manage it, with participation from all stakeholders, including traditional owners overseen by the non-Moiki chief. Are you prepared to uncover the secrets of the past? Like, share, and subscribe to the channel today and start on a quest to unearth the most perplexing and awe-inspiring mysteries in history. Leave a comment if there are any old secrets you'd like us to investigate in future videos.